Oh, hi there. My name is Jack Moran, and I'll be your tour guide through the world of manufacturing. Where do we begin, you may ask? Well, at the beginning, of course. Let us dive right in.
In the late 1700s, the Industrial Revolution began, and manufacturing was off to a hot start. We now jump to the early 1900s, and a new type of product was being produced automobiles, and they were flying off the production lines. We see here the casting of cylinders for the production of the Rover Imperial motorcycles by the Rover Company. At the time, this was the only company to cast motorcycle cylinders. The process begins with the molds, then transitions to the melting of metals. The metal workers then pour the molten metal into the cast. Once the piece is hardened, the excess material is hammered away. Manufacturing hasn't changed much since it began in the late 1700s at the start of the Industrial Revolution, though centuries later, we find ourselves in the year 2020 in the midst of a global pandemic and manufacturing could get a whole new look. The way we produce items is becoming harder, more expensive, and more scarce as the pandemic rages on. Manufacturers face four major problems, the first being supply chain distributions. This problem arose because of the shortage of freight capacity. As the year has gone on, more and more companies are needing their products shipped, which will limit the transportation capacity. The second problem is manufacturing in a safe environment. This is by far the largest problem for electronic products, since they need the most hands on workers. These processes will require appropriate PPEs for workers, which will in turn increase the cost per product. The third problem is the limited movement of people. Considering most production is not done in the same building, items need to be shipped where they can be sanitized, and meetings with suppliers will also need to be online, making it much harder to solve complex problems. The fourth and final problem is limited remote oversight. While production lines are running, problems occur and engineers need to be able to walk the line and take data in real time. Though with COVID, this will be limited, leading to more errors. These problems aren't going away anytime soon, which is leading many companies to switch to autonomous production. Compared to when manufacturing started, where hundreds of workers needed to be involved in production, 2020 is the year where workers are eliminated and robots take over.
Well, folks, it seems like the manufacturing world is going to look a lot different, and it may be for the better. Join me next time for another edition of The World of Manufacturing, and have a good night.